When all the action was going down and Leia was having to do stuff with the guns and shooting and everything and jumping, I kept wondering why. Why don't you just use the Force? And then I thought, well, did Ben Kenobi always use the Force? And then I remembered, maybe it's because he had the high ground. I'm just playing with you guys. It's Paul from Rideout Reviews, and I just got done watching Rise of the Skywalker. And this is a no spoilers, so don't worry about that. But we're going to talk about what the good, the bad, my score, and is it redeemable? So let's get into it. Rise of Skywalker is directed by J.J. Abrams and stars Mark Hamill, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaacs, Anthony Daniels, and Naomi Ackie. This is the final saga that pits the good and the evil, the Force and the Sith, the Jedi and the dark side against each other. And we get to see how it all turns out. So before I start, man, I really want to say they did an excellent job putting Princess Leia or Carrie Fisher into this movie, because she passed away sadly before she could do anything really in order to do this film, and I thought they did a phenomenal job in it. It's very, very good. It's amazing what we can do with the technology and the talent that we have working behind the cameras and on the computers, man. Hats off to them, definitely. They did a great job, man, and it was very tasteful in a beautiful way. I thought it was great. But let's talk about the good. Of course, that was a good, but let's continue on. So I think the action, man, of course, whenever you do movies that are Star Wars epics, they have to be action-packed. Hey, and this was no different, man. There's explosions, fights, gunfights, air fights. Man, it was so amazing, all great. Thought it was so good. Man, and I think another thing they did was just the nostalgia. This whole movie is the culmination of all 9 or 8 movies before it. And so I think that one way in which they reached all generations was pulling from the previous films in a way that would just give you those heartstrings, that would tug on you and say, man, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was cool. So I thought those were great parts as well. And I think that there was so many epic visuals. So this show, there was a scene, I think it was actually one of the commercials, with waves that were just so huge and high, man. It was beautiful as they looked off into it. Man, it was a beautiful sight. And also another one in the commercials as well. I'm trying not to give any spoilers, that's why I'm telling you that. And it was about the party there was on a planet and just beautiful colors and stuff like that. And they integrated both of those aspects in action scenes that they did in those scenes. So I thought that was really great. Man, I think that this also had a sense of community or a sense of togetherness. I thought was great. You know, it's just that, you know, that buddy type feel, gang or group feel dynamic through the movie. And I thought they did a good job on that, man. And they did not stunt. It was so good. Now, the bad though, because it got to be bad, right? You know, everybody not going to love this. Some people going to love it. Some people going to hate it. But I'll tell you what, man, I thought that it was the bad that it was trying to be funny sometimes when maybe it shouldn't have been. Now, I thought it was funny. Of course, there was some cute people that just made you laugh, man. And also the droids. Of course, we know that CP3O, I believe he tends to be a comedic relief throughout the entire series. And I thought he did a good job, man. Every time it kind of hit, it was so funny. But other times, wasn't the biggest fan. And I thought that the story, it was good, yes. But I think some people, like I said, it tends to be, you know, some people are going to be on it, some people are not. But I think that some might think it's a repeat in a way. Or maybe others might just think that, man, they were paying tribute. So that's up to you. When you check it out, you let me know in the comments what you thought. And if you've already seen it, let me know in the comments what you thought. But I'm going to rate it, and I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 R's. I really enjoyed the film. I thought that it was, like I said, had a lot of action, funny, good sense of heart, and it also just some nostalgia about the movie. And they brought it all together. I think they did a great job, and it seems like an ending that was worth it. Yeah, definitely was. It just has some little twists and turns maybe that I didn't see, but maybe if you knew more about the story, you might have saw. Because I'm not the biggest, and I hate to say it, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I thought this was a great movie. Is it redeemable? That's the last thing we talk about, man. Is it a movie that can show us something about ourselves? And does it do it in a great way? Well, this movie is a good movie. It's well put together. J.J. Abrams, a wonderful, wonderful director. And so, yes, I'm going to come out and say it because this movie here actually has some good stuff about community, talking about the togetherness of people and how they can overcome certain circumstances through that. It also talks about the fight or the need for an individual to actually do the right thing or at least pick a side. I also think that it shows a good story of redemption, man. I mean, that's really at the heart, the center of this movie, I think, is redemption. And I thought that was a great thing. Also, I think that hope, that is probably the biggest thing. And we all need hope in our lives, man, because things get difficult. And when we lose hope, man, it's almost like we've lost our life. And obviously, we know the first episode that ever came out, episode 4, is A New Hope. And that's what this movie tries to give its watchers. That if we have hope, we can overcome. So, that's my review. Tell me if you like it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, don't put nothing. Also, if you haven't subscribed, go and hit that subscribe button and then hit that bell. That way you get notified when I come out with my next movie review. Do a little other stuff on this channel. Check it out if you like. That would be awesome. I'm Paul. This is Rideout Reviews. And like I always say, have a great weekend and keep watching movies.